Zach with AI Automation Elite, and today we're going to look at a slightly different problem. Everyone that does automations at some point gets stuck. And today we're going to look at how we can unstuck a particular workflow automation in N8N. Now, notice our scenario here. We have a webhook that's triggered over here by Postman, goes to the OpenAI that is going to do some work. In this case, it writes an email, a thank you email. Then it goes to Airtable and creates a record with information, sends an email, waits a few seconds strictly for us because that just gives us time to see the transition happen, and then updates the record again. So here's the record. All right, notice in these two situations, we have blanks for subject and body. Now, if we come back to our OpenAI, we have output content as JSON right here. So let's run this. Okay, we're going to say send. It is not. We didn't push test workflow. All right, let's do it again. All right, workflow started. Things happened. This will wait 15 seconds so that we can just see it. And notice this time, different problem. Okay. This is missing, and these are filled in. Let's run it once again. Turn this on again. Let's just change this so that we know. We'll call this Robin Stun. I don't know who that is, but that's what we'll use. All right, so here it runs again. If we go back to Airtable, notice this time, neither of these is in there. Okay. And the problem comes from, and notice Gmail crashed for properties of undefined. If we start here and we look at that, we see these two fields are empty or with error. And so if we look at our structure here, R2 is content recipient, not field email. The problem that we're having is this output is not consistent. Right? So what I want to do is make sure that we resolve this, but I want to use a new method. We're going to use Google AI Studio right here. So Google has this new feature at aistudio.google.com with Gemini, where we're supposed to be able to stream, and we would share the screen. This is what I'm told. We would share the screen and then be able to verbally have a conversation with Gemini to fix it. So the issue that we're having is that these instances are not consistent, and they're not consistent right here. Okay, so what we want to do is be able to send in the webhook, and the webhook is always consistent. So we have a couple of options, right? We could use the webhook data all the time. We could try to parse. There's a bunch of things, but what I would like to do is make this prompt such that it returns the XML structure the same every time. So let's see if Gemini can help us with that. Are we ready? Let's go. All right. So we're going to share screen. We need to share this one. Hello, can you help me with writing a prompt for OpenAI to ensure that the output is in XML and always the same?
Okay, I can help with that. To ensure the output from OpenAI is in XML format and remains consistent, specify in your prompt that the response must be in XML and provide a schema or example XML structure to follow. Do you have a specific XML schema or example you'd like to use as a template?
No, I don't, and I don't know how to write XML. I just read that that's the best solution in order to make it consistent for Airtable and Gmail to be able to use those fields afterwards.
I see. If you're not familiar with XML, another approach would be to use JSON, which is often easier to work with. Would you like me to provide guidance on how to structure your prompt so that OpenAI returns a JSON object with specific fields that Airtable and Gmail can use?
Sure. The two fields that we have coming in from the webhook are name and email. And I want the prompt to write the email, a thank you email, and then return it in a manner that we can save it in Airtable. And also, if I go back over here, to save it in Airtable, then to send it to Gmail, and then make some other updates in Airtable.
Great. In your prompt to OpenAI, specify that you want the response to be a JSON object with two keys, email_body and Airtable_summary. The value for email_body should be the thank you email you want to send, and the value for Airtable_summary should be a brief summary suitable for storing in Airtable. Would you like an example prompt?
Actually, I want to return the name, the email, the subject line, and the body.
Understood. You want to return the name, email, subject line, and body in the JSON object. Given this new information, would you like me to provide you with a new example prompt for OpenAI?
Yes, can you type it so that I can copy and paste?
Sure. Here is an example prompt you can use. Write a thank you email to jason.body, name, at email, jason.body.email, from Zach at CodeShock. Include the full name and email of the user receiving the email. The response should be a JSON object with the following keys: name, email, subject, and body. Will that work for you?
I don't know. How can we ensure that it's always that and nothing else?
To ensure that OpenAI always returns that specific JSON format and nothing else, you can adjust the prompt and include validation steps in your workflow. Is that something you'd like help with?
Well, first, I would like to see what the output looks like from JSON, in JSON. Let me look.
It appears that the name is Tony Robinston, and the email is Zach at CodeShock Dev, based on the JSON input provided.
Yeah, so I think I need to update these fields.
Should I help update these fields with the values from the JSON output?
Actually, I'm doing that now.
Got it. Let me know if you need anything else.
So what's the next step that we can do to make sure, should this be output content as JSON? Should that be checked? Apparently something went wrong. Let's see, let's test this again here. Okay, it looks like it's pretty consistent. So let's go back and let's go to Airtable and let's update this to follow that consistency. So name is name. Email. All we're doing is updating these with the new JSON just to make sure that they work or that they're consistent. Okay. Now let's test that step. All right, that looks good. And we want to pin this for now so that we can move forward with that. And, all right, so now let's go to Gmail. Let's get rid of these. And so this is going to be to okay. That looks pretty good. We'll test that step. All right, it says an email was sent, and then let's go ahead and look at our last one. Actually, we need to, let's break this out here for a second and connect these two just so that we make sure we have the right information here. So this is Airtable ID, and status is sent. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Let's just break this one more time. Put that there and that. Oops. That there. Okay, let's try it one more time. So what we're going to do is we're just going to delete a bunch of these tests. Actually, let's just delete them all. And we will test it completely fresh and new. All right, let's go back to our here, and we're going to, what's another name? Fred Flintstone. We'll leave it at my email because we want to check to see if we get that. So let's make sure that the trigger is up. Good. All right. Good. And if we come here, refresh, we're not getting anything but pending. Okay, so it's because I forgot to unclick the pin. This is a hazard of pinning. Let's unpin this, and that's why we got that. So let's run this one more time. All right, we should see beautiful. And now let's see if we get a status of mailed. And then while we're doing that, I'm going to open my email. And let's go ahead and look here. I have a whole bunch from me. Dear Fred Flintstone. That's the newest one. Awesome. All right. Now what we need to do while we're here, if you want to learn how to build this will be in another video. I will include the steps on that. But this is really about using, apparently, the Google Stream, which worked out pretty well. And I just want to convert this to production. And let's just test the production. And remember, we put in raw JSON. Let's just come over here and copy that and put that here. And we'll do Sam Johnson. Johnson. And we want to go ahead and come over here and let's make this active. So this is how you would turn it on so that it's always listening, hopefully. Let's see here. Let's send. Workflow is started. Let's look at our executions. We have one running. And Sam Johnson, there it is, and our structure is nice. So overall, pretty cool. Very odd video, I know, but thank you very much. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, and we're going to continue to make more. Learning AI is like anything else. Sometimes you have to read about it. Sometimes you have to build it. Sometimes you got to break it. That's the way it works. Have a great day. Take care, everyone.